Chapter 1. Plans Ending. Mary stepped out of the motel room and looked around to see if there were any people in the vicinity. To be more specific, if there were any nosy people. There were cars driving past, but she doubted they would even care about her. It was the people who were walking or staying at the motel that she worried most about. The type who would not hesitate to walk into the motel room when she was out of sight. Thankfully, nobody was walking around, and in fact, it was surprisingly quiet. The motel was in a seedy part of downtown Las Vegas, the kind of place where the cops frequented to deal with pimps, prostitutes, drug dealers, and addicts. The only place that she could afford these days, and the reason she was going to end her life tonight. Her life had turned into shit, and she just didn't want to live it anymore. It wasn't like anybody would notice she was gone anyway, except maybe Carlos. Once they found the baby, she would be a distant memory. The baby was her 2-year-old niece, Stella. She was such a sweetheart, and Mary had fallen in love with her during the past week that they had spent together. Stella was Mary's youngest niece from her troubled sister Veronica. Veronica, who was currently sitting in a Belize prison. Mary knew that Veronica was a piece of work, but the current situation had taken even Mary by complete surprise. Veronica had 3 other children, 2 sons named Sebastian and Caleb, and a daughter named Daisy. Mary didn't know where her nephews and niece were. She suspected they were in foster care somewhere, which made her very, very sad. Veronica was an irresponsible mother, just like their mother, Kayla, was. Mary hated how Veronica popped out babies but neglected them. Mary and Veronica had been close once upon a time, back when Veronica had looked up to Mary and admired instead of resented her. But their relationship soured after their mother Kayla had run off with a Hollywood executive who offered her a much better life that didn't include her children. Mary felt like Veronica somehow blamed her for that, even though she had been the one to step up and look after Veronica when their mother had left them. Mary didn't understand where Veronica had gone wrong, and it was too late to hope for any changes now. But what Veronica had done to end up where she was unforgivable to Mary. Mary had gone no contact with her sister a couple of times for stupid things they had both done. But getting arrested in Belize, Mary could never forgive. Mary didn't want anything to do with Veronica ever again. In fact, she might not be too upset if Veronica never left the prison. But since Mary was ending her life tonight, she would never find out how Veronica's story ends. She would never know where her nephews Sebastian and Caleb and her niece Daisy were. She hoped that they were with loving families who treated them better than their own mother had treated them. At the very least, she knew that Stella would get back to being with Carlos, who loved her with all his heart, and Stella adored him too. She asked for Dada multiple times a day, especially after they had spoken to him over video call. When Carlos called and Mary put him on either speakerphone or on video call, Stella went crazy with joyful excitement.